There are magical moments in a game of pickleball. They are few and far between, but they are there for the taking. I'm talking about those moments that you have the right and responsibility to put everything into the shot. The best players don't just see more opportunities, they create them through well-constructed points. When the time is right for you to take the gloves off, are you able to give it enough power to finish the point? Today we're going to take a look at what might be costing you that much-needed put-away power. It should come as no surprise to you that power starts from the ground, and any attack should be rooted in firm footing. To get maximum power, the job of your feet is primarily to give you space around the ball to create leverage. We've all been in those situations that an unexpected ball pops up to a very attackable height, and yet all we can do is put a minimal amount of downward force onto the ball. The reason for this likely stems from your body not having the reaction time to get out of the way and create leverage. Your most powerful weapon is typically your forehand, and it has 3 levers: the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist. This gives you a large comfort zone and plenty of power at your disposal, but those factors are only useful if you give yourself enough room to extend them. If you find yourself getting cramped around the ball, unable to extend enough for real power, look down. Were you standing tall? Were you still in motion when you needed to be planted? Were you swaying in a direction when your opponent contacted the ball? All of these can be costing you the necessary room around the ball, so the next time you find yourself in this position, it may indeed pay to not launch your attack, instead choosing to dink and not risk a counterpunch getting the best of you. If your footwork is doing a good enough job of giving you space around the ball, then it could be a lack of rotation that's the culprit. There are 2 main types of rotation at play in creating put-away power: external and internal rotation. External rotation refers to how your hips and shoulders coil and uncoil. When you have time and space, are you loading your hips for power? Think of your hips as the butt end of a whip. A small amount of swift movement here can result in a drastic increase in speed at the end of the whip. In this case, your paddle's sweet spot. Your external rotation will have a bigger impact on the power on your backhand side versus forehand. This is because of the other kind of rotation I mentioned, internal, which refers to elbow flexion on the forehand and elbow extension on the backhand. These movements alone can create plenty of power, and for some circumstances, that might be all you need to put the ball away. This kind of rotation will primarily be used on lower contact balls that could use a little topspin as insurance, compared to the higher contact balls that can employ a modified overhead smash technique. Tension is the enemy of speed and stamina. The fastest tennis servers in history all had one thing in common: they kept their shoulder loose. Next time you're practicing your volleys, do a quick tension check. Where do you feel it most? For many people, it's in their hand. By clenching your hand around the handle too tightly, you'll be running the risk of that tension traveling to the associated muscle groups in your forearm. This snowball effect ends with you looking like a Tin Man, when chances are Dorothy would have put that ball away. Experiment with different grip pressures to find what works for you, with the goal of using the minimum amount of grip pressure to maintain complete control of the paddle. This will likely be different on the forehand and the backhand, with the backhand side requiring more grip pressure to account for a weaker wrist position. Moving your paddle around with the least amount of tension afforded will help you move it fast. However, in the moments just before contact, you'll need to increase the grip pressure, often substantially, in order to stabilize the paddle face and control the direction of the shot. Power isn't a God-given talent, bestowed upon only the lucky few. It can be taught. Today we talked about 3 elements that could be costing you put-away power. So the next time you're practicing, try to be aware of how your footwork is giving you space, how your rotation is accelerating the paddle, and if there's too much tension in your arm to create real speed. Damn! Stop it! Get away! Get away from me! Something funny one more time. Come on, what are you gonna do? You like jokes. You always tell me, do more jokes. With the backhand side requiring, and any attack should be grounded, rooted. Okay. English is tough. God.
That was amazing.
Oh, great. I mean, I don't disagree.